not done though. That should be. Yeah, you tells me. But then again, what's that? Let's ask Seltzer to do it. He'll do it for free.
You have a point.
Well, we never did our proper introduction, but then again, it's Mischief Monday. Everybody here knows what it is.
Yes.
These two idiots trying to roleplay as actual successful attorneys. Come back about your actual job as the favorite. Just rewind time just so you win.
The fact that you know that lion makes me...
The reason I know that is because I've seen a bunch of FYP videos that use that line.
So good.
Alright. Rena?
I'm sorry, I'm yawning. Alright. Tyrion. We're definitely lost.
$350 watch stream. I swear.
350 points.
I swear to God, I swear I charged this headphone.
Oh, your headphones are working?
It gave me the battery low notification.
Uh-oh.
We followed the Grand General's directions to the letter. We were expecting to arrive at some noble estate or convention hall. Instead, we found ourselves in the ruins of a long-forgotten city. The grass was overgrown. Moss has growing around the ruins. It looked like no one has lived here for centuries. I double-checked everything. The map even has the giant tree north of here.
This can't be the city that Lady and that Virology mentioned. It doesn't look like anyone lives here in centuries.
Wait a minute. Did he give us wrong directions on purpose?
That was me.
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
Bless you.
Thank you. Grand General? Enough gawking. The trial will commence shortly.
Here.
He wasn't alone either. A division of the Kingsguard was marching behind him, forming a perimeter around Arya. It was difficult to tell if she was their liege or their prisoner. A gray, luminous spear was centered on the prosecutor, following her as they made their way to one of the ruins. It had the same color as most aberration spells. It must have been the anti-magic field. So this is where we'll be hosting the trial? Yes. The Archduke can never bring himself to stray far from this place for too long. I doubt a normal courtroom would be large enough anyway. What? Kingsguard. Bring the diamond dog. Bring the prisoner. Sorry, when I see that scar and I see that eye patch, I'm thinking Big Boss, to be honest.
Oh.
You'll understand because I am pretty close to getting that many points.
That many points?
Yeah, honestly, I've been having conversations with people about which game to start you off with, and we all agreed on...
Oh, this is like a group effort, huh?
Yeah. Everyone agreed it would be the first Metal Gear Solid game we get you to try out.
Which one?
The first Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, we're starting with number 1. Well, I guess that makes sense.
No, making sense story-wise would be 3, but 1 is because if we start you straight into 3, it's going to be like playing Baldur's Gate 3, but you have no idea how to do any of the turn-based stuff.
I mean,
No.
I understand turn-based because I've used turn-based a lot.
No, I mean, like you've never played a turn-based game in your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, throwing you right in the deep end, even if it is the best one, would probably turn you away from it. Everybody chose 1 because not only is that where the franchise got popular, there's something I'm going to tell you to do before you even start the story mode.
Okay.
They're called VR missions. It's literally the tutorial mode for the game.
VR missions.
Yeah.
I don't... Well, I do, but I don't...
No, they're just called that. It's a 1990... It was a game released around the same time as the original Final Fantasy VII.
Hmm.
Basically, if we do it like that, you'll ease into the whole stealth mechanics and everything easier than going straight into 3.
Okay, what kind of... Are we talking... Like, what kind of stealth mechanics are we talking about? Because I've played stealth mechanics before.
So you know about hiding in corners, hiding away from enemies, not engaging...
I mean, I used to play Assassin's Creed religiously.
Oh, no, it's not like that. It's real stealth.
I mean, you had to hide in places.
It will all make sense as soon as you see it. But it was long before Assassin's Creed was made. That's all I'm going to say.
I guess. I was obsessed with Assassin's Creed. Kind of fell off after a while.
Well,
Black Flag, I think, is...
everybody agreed Black Flag was the last good one. Also, welcome in Sonic Speed. Oh yeah, let me do this. Kingsguard, bring the prisoner to... Huh?
To the temple?
No, I'm reading a comment. It's in Spanish, though, so I don't understand. Kingsguard, bring the prisoner to the temple. I will have words with Mr. Cuthbert alone. That includes you, McCoy.
I'm not leaving you alone with him.
Celeste, it's fine.
But
I can handle him. Just stay close by. Is the audio not working, or is there something else they're saying?
What audio?
No, I'm trying to understand what this comment is saying.
I mean, I pulled up the audio and I can hear myself just fine.
Alright. No, it's on the YouTube side.
I know, but you said something about the audio.
I don't know, I'm trying to understand what these comments in Spanish are saying, that's why.
Google Translate, I guess, if you really want to. I just tell them that you don't understand Spanish.
Her jaw tightened as she shifted around uneasily. Nevertheless, she stepped aside without any objections. No wonder she's so subordinate. You keep such a loose leash around her. What do you want, Lucio? The Archduke allowed you to serve as prosecutor Steelwind's attorney. Why? I guess to earn his trust somehow? Cuthbert, do you remember what I told you after Dracogen's trial? You are now going to be my agent. What? There will come a day where I will require your skills and abilities. The Eye of Radiance is too powerful a weapon for me to squander. I imagine it will be great use to me. You will now be acting on my orders. I think I even considered throwing the trial for. You will come at me. I will come at you with everything I have. Use your Eye of Radiance. Use every trick Tamora taught you. No matter who lies before you, cut them down. Oh. Hey, Rena.
Yeah.
You beat the first Ace Attorney game, right?
Yes, the first one.
I think this is the anti-Von Karma at the end. Remember how much that old guy was basically a conniving sneak?
Yeah.
I think this guy is supposed to make you think that, but he's instead trying to make us see what the actual truth is.
I mean, I said that I had a feeling like I had a hard time believing that he would think that this was true about his daughter.
He probably doesn't. He's probably got to do the act because, Grand General. But he's probably like, okay, there's some bull going on. I need to know what's really going down. I will not accept victory without a proper fight with you.
So here's the thing, too, though, is, on top of that, he's already, had to prosecute his wife. He probably knows what it actually is like.
Oh, this person's from Brazil. That's...
Hello, from Brazil.
It probably is true, too. So yeah, he probably does know what it's like. And I guess he wants to make sure if he does have to execute his daughter, it's real and not just faked up.
Yeah.
So, what is this to you? Some kind of duel? Your daughter's life hangs in a balance, Lucio. Follow my orders, or I'll have you executed. I glared at him as he made his way towards the temple. The ruins were filled with the nobles who were at the Grand Cathedral that day. The temple was ancient. It's basically falling apart. Moss had grown into every crevice. Insects were crawling everywhere. I even spotted a few rats at some point. One of them's name was Jello.
To have a trial.
Hey, I saw one of those rats. Their name is Jello.
Oh my god.
Shout out to Jello if he ever watches my streams.
We love Jello.
The nobles present looked like they wanted to flee as far as possible from this place, but the Kingsguard blocked anyone trying to leave. The Grand General's expression was blank but focused. He was acting like nothing was out of the ordinary. He had taken his position at the opposite end of the room. It seemed like he truly planned on prosecuting his daughter. Thank you all coming here today. Hey, Rena. It's gonna be a sausage fest now that I think about it. You want to take the Grand General?
I mean, I like how you do his voice.
You mean trying to do the gruff voice?
Yeah, I don't do that very well.
Oh, okay.
It's your strength.
I'll keep doing it. I appreciate your cooperation with our investigation. Why have you... You try this.
Have you brought us here? This place is disgusting.
Man up, you fucking ingrown little Never mind. Remember, I gotta withhold my noble hate. What happens here today must be kept away from prying eyes. I hope I don't need to remind you that whatever happens here today must never be discussed. But nevertheless, I welcome you all to my home. Wait, you live here? I do. Your Grace, is this truly what you wish to do? There will be no going back after this. Oh, he's Portuguese. What? I made many mistakes in my lifetime. I gave Wormgarden the means to protect themselves, but grew bitter when seeing what I created. I thought my best course of action was to stay in isolation and leave Wormgarden to fend for itself. I see now that I was foolish. I abandoned my kin to survive in an unjust world, and now foreign powers have ingrained themselves in my kingdom, all because of my negligence. Foreign powers? Does he still suspect me of being an agent of the theocracy? Well, no more. It's time for the people of Wormgarden and their enemies to remember who watches over them. Raises his hand. Magic light gathering in his palm. The room begins to shake more violently with every moment. It was as if there was an earthquake. He's a dragon.
Oh my god, he's a fucking dragon.
I can already tell he's a dragon. I know this kind of power output.
I mean, I thought it was weird, and they mentioned that he was too big.
I normally couldn't sense ether like Celeste or in Aster, but even I could feel the massive energy in the room coalescing around him. What's going on? Several nobles in the gallery screamed in terror. Some fell to the ground. Whatever spell he was casting, it was unlike anything I've never seen before. A blinding light flooded into the room. I had to shield my eyes, but as the light faded, I finally saw it. I finally saw him in his true form.
It's your uncle. Juris, it's your uncle.
I wasn't born a dragon, remember?
It's your soul's uncle.
I think my soul is older than this. What?
It's a dragon.
You know what? Since it's a dragon, wings out. The gallery broke out into hysteria. Boys, you never seen a fucking dragon before? Your place is called Wormgarden.
No, they haven't. Keep in mind, the dragons have been vanished for centuries.
Okay, maybe the reason we're not so worried is because you and I be around dragons all the time. Mainly me. Yeah. And then there's some council members. By the way, you get along with Alchemist pretty well.
Yeah, Alchemist is pretty cool.
But I kind of said this back in our modern repo collab. You got that weird ability to just control the room.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm good being around people.
Ah.
I get along easily with people, for the most part.
Some of them kneeled in reverence to the ancient dragon. Some simply fell to the ground and cowered.
Oh.
I even saw some of them attempt to flee before they were shoved back by the knights guarding the exit. Enough. This may not be a court, but I will have order. An ancient dragon? No, you're the last ancient dragon. That is correct, Heavensborn. I am the first Lord of Wormgarden in the Senate of the God of War. I am the great-grandson of Kratos. What, Rena?
Say nothing.
I mean, you knew as soon as they said the word God of War, I was thinking of him.
Say nothing.
I am Rathalion, the Scaled Lord. 2020. He's younger than both of us. Rena.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's younger than both of us.
Baby.
How you doing, Roxas?
Oh, Roxas has come.
Yeah, the Scaled Lord and creator of all arcane magic. I'd only known from legends until this moment. I can hardly believe this ancient dragon actually exists.
Wild.
Rena's kind of timeless, and I have no idea what the fuck I am at this point.
I am. Yeah, I just exist.
Yeah.
Time is confusing for me.
Remus Virgile is an alias, I assume, when I walks among your kind. Until now, only the lords of House Steelwind and the kings of Wormguard have known my true identity, but I will no longer hide. My will alone will determine how this trial ends. According to the legends, dragons can't die of old age. Presumably, he'd still be alive.
I wouldn't be surprised. Despite everything, the kingdom includes him in our constitution.
Wait, really?
As the savior of our kingdom, he and his kin were given the honorary position in our kingdom. The Scaled Lord made Wyverngard what it is today. He was given authority that benefits such a legacy.
You're the only individual with the authority to convict any and all of the nobles here. Make no mistake, Mr. Cuthbert. I will remain impartial regardless of what transpires here. I will not interfere in this trial, nor will I try to manipulate its outcome. I will only mediate its proceedings and pass judgment when necessary. Even in my human form, I have always had the strength of an ancient dragon. Well, that's certainly terrifying.
Yes.
Hey, Rena, I just gotta realize that it's terrifying to them, but to you and me, this is basically, like, mundane to us.
Yeah, normal.
Well, like, legit.
It's not that scary. I've seen scarier.
Yeah. I've seen some things. I have seen some things. Especially when half of them involves the words Empress Jolene. Now then. With introductions out of the way, shall we proceed? Of course, Your Grace. The prosecution is ready. Dragons aside, this was like any other trial. The defense is also ready. I'm sure we are thoroughly aware of why we're gathered here, but for the sake of doing this properly, could you please list the charges, Lucio? The defendant, Arya Steelwind, is charged with several counts of manslaughter. Her victims include many knights from the King's Guard who remain unresponsive. And of course...
I mean, they're not dead. That's not manslaughter. They're not... It's not manslaughter unless they're actually dead.
And of course, there's Lloyd von Sanctus and Coraline Sybil, the Duke of Commerce and the Minister of Justice respectively. Truth be told, only one of them is actually worth it. The other one was just a little piece of shit.
Ah, yes. The pegging. We love pegging here. We have a point. Still our property price. Buy them cheap, then profit. Ah, yes. This is force. Trial's been over before it began.
Lady Steelwind clearly overestimated herself. Even a child knows to be wary of mage bully.
It's a special day for you, Roxas. How is it?
No, don't you see? This is Bahamut's judgment. The divine powers that clearly think that she's unfit to rule by the king's side.
Might I remind the court of my own testimony? I witnessed Beatrice Friga enter the prayer room before I lost consciousness. Isn't it suspicious that this occurred around 15 minutes before Pierce's death?
Objection!
You only caught a glimpse of her. You do not know if somebody else disguised an illusion. You didn't even speak to her. That's all the more reason to call her to the stand to explain herself. She has already testified that she has no memories of what transpired during the massacre. There is no need to drag this out any more, Cesare, Cuthbert. My client has a right to a fair trial, and Beatrice's involvement clearly implies some greater plot. Enough. Enough. I find Mr. Cuthbert's request to be reasonable. I agree Lady Friga's actions are quite suspect. Very well. Let the defense have its battle. I only hope for his sake that his blade strikes true. Why is everything a combat metaphor with you? Because that is what I enjoy most. Have you ever actually hung out with nobles before? They are the most boring pieces of shit I've had to deal with.
No, the dragon is not on trial. The dragon is the judge in this case. Yeti.
Yeah, the dragon's actually the judge. This is actually such an important case a dragon took over the judge.
Shut up, Edgeworth 2.0. How about we go burn down a bridge?
I gotta stay in character. I can't be my usual fuck noble self when I do this. But Rena, if there is one that acts like a douchebag, I'm going all out, okay? Doesn't matter if you think they're hot or not. Huh?
It doesn't matter. I'll simp all I want.
Yeah, fair enough. You sip over anything.
That's not true. Not ugly people.
Alright. Beatrice.
I'm glad you're safe, Mr. Cuthbert.
Not for a lack of trying on your part. Let me turn this down, because you're playing quiet characters.
I have no memories of what I did. If I hurt you, I am truly sorry.
She actually looks sincere, but it wasn't as if this was the first time she'd lied to me. To be honest, I'm still a little doubtful about your memory loss.
I am not the only one who experienced it. Arya also lost her memories of what happened.
And how would you know that? Regardless, if you truly have no memories of what happened, could you testify about what you do remember? Hey, bailiff, can we put a cage around the imp just to be safe?
Very well. I was with my sisters and my guide, Iris Ilmater. I was speaking with them in the garden when suddenly I fell ill and lost consciousness. When I woke up, my sisters found me. They said that I had gone missing for over an hour. I was confused, but when I later heard what happened, I realized that someone must have taken control of my body. I have no memories of what happened, and for what I understand, the same thing happened to Arya. And to make matters worse, there's nothing that indicates who may have controlled our actions.
I'm just gonna move.
She didn't mention the piece of paper because, like...
That's true. There was something off about the way she was testifying. She was actually being less vague than I was expecting. What was she doing? Piece of paper you're talking about.
Yeah, because if you remember, like, every time, like, somebody's been possessed, it's been, like, that weird piece of paper with the purple symbol on it, if you remember.
This thing? Here it is.
Yeah, that thing. Mm-hmm.
It's some sort of mark. Arya Steelwind calls it the purple mark. She thinks it's somehow in relation to her mind control conspiracy. Supposedly, the mark has found in scenes of several gruesome murders throughout Wormguard. Arya felt she was getting closer. She regained consciousness after the massacre. She found the paper in the symbol in the pocket. All right, let's press for now. See what we can get out of it.
Like, that mark was something that Arya mentioned, and she showed us.
She's been missing since the massacre happened. I really hope she's okay.
Oh, make no mistake. She's definitely okay.
What makes you so sure? Do you remember anything about what happened to her?
No, but it's just a feeling.
Enough about that peasant. Tell us what happened next, Freyga.
I was speaking with them in the garden when I suddenly felt ill and lost consciousness. It's the same thing.
If they were with you, shouldn't your sisters have noticed this? According to LaFay and Miriam, their pet dog was running amok in the hallways.
Tracker.
They left the witness with Illuminator to chase him down. And when the sisters returned to the garden, both Beatrice and Illuminator were gone. Do you remember anything after that? What was that?
That's that glitchy ship that happens when Iris is around.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Zane Reloaded.
Yeah, Zane came over from my channel. Hi, Zane. Welcome in. No, I really want to remember, but I can't.
And you have no memories of what happened?
No, none at all. I can only imagine what I was forced to do while I was unconscious.
Forced? What do you mean by that?
Zane followed you on Twitch?
Yeah.
Your thing hasn't updated that Zane followed. On the bottom, it says subject followed.
My thing says Zane, so...
I mean, I'm looking at your screen, like on Twitch. If you look at the bottom, like the name, there it goes. That was a long delay.
That was a long delay. Well, he wants me to strip.
Yep, Zane wants you to strip naked.
There we go. So you're also saying that someone else controlled your body?
Yes, it's the only explanation about why you saw me in the prayer room.
Absolute ridiculousness. You're clearly spinning a fairy tale to absolve yourself. He was actually calling her out.
Interesting.
I had no reason to trust her, so why do I feel like something was wrong?
Think what you will, but please believe me when I say. Keep in mind, though, she has a fucking demon familiar, and people are not going to trust her because of that.
That's true. Your statement does match up with what happened to my client. But you clearly already knew what happened to her. You could just be using knowledge to fabricate an alibi.
Mr. Cuthbert, I know it doesn't mean much coming from me, but I am telling the truth.
That remains to be seen.
Why is this freelancer the same age as me?
Really?
Good question.
Why would you even bring that up?
Well, if you had evidence that someone else was controlling us, it would exonerate both me and Arya. That would be the best case scenario, wouldn't it? Ugh.
What?
It's nothing.
Her brow furrowed, increased in frustration.
I feel like Ears is communicating with them.
It's true. Especially when you get that glitch effect.
Yeah.
The way
She also had a reaction.
The way she's testifying was a bit strange. She immediately concluded that someone had taken control of her, and why was she bringing up what happened to Arya? There's nothing.
So we pressed everything, right?
Yeah. And to make matters worse, there's nothing that indicates who might have control. Oh, who?
That's not true. The paper.
That's true. See if that works. The purple mark.
Mm-hmm.
Why would she say something like that? I found a contradiction, but she might as well dropped it into our hands. Beatrice, you said there was no indication of who orchestrated this. But there's one piece of evidence that does just that. Albeit loosely.
And what would that be?
The symbol. I pulled out the parchment Arya gave me. It had a purple mark on it.
Not allowed in this game? What? Marnith, what are you doing?
What's wrong? It's got the imp reacting, so there's something bad.
Suppressing our connection.
Connection?
I can't actually see what you're trying to show me.
Murnif, can you stop being petty and just let her see? Who does this character?
That was you. You were playing creepy imp.
I'll take orders from you, Heavensborn!
I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, what is on that parchment?
You see it, Beatrice. Arya has been investigating a string of murders throughout Wormsgard. These murders appear to be unrelated despite how gruesome they are. But they all share the thing in common. The symbol was found on each and every crime scene. Don't tell me my daughter has roped you into her conspiracy theory. Your mind control defense would be laughable if it was a downright insulting. Grand General, during the gap in Arya's memory, someone placed this mark in her pocket. It was clearly some sort of taunt from whoever orchestrated this. Nonsense! She clearly drew that symbol herself during her psychotic episode. I've had to listen to her go on and on about this insane theory. She was obsessed with it.
Mr. Cuthbert, aren't you curious about what just happened?
What are you talking about?
Oh, she said something and then it changed.
I saw it too.
She said, think about, and then... Ears is fucking directly fucking changing shit. I wish I fucking knew what that said.
I don't know. Just keep reading.
My apologies. I don't know why I said that. Ugh.
Well, it's pissing her off too.
Mm-hmm. Because she feels it.
Her frustration was rising with each word she said. Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm perfectly fine. Anyways, it looks like you'll have to figure the rest out on your own.
Figure out the rest on my own? Your Grace, these two are making a mockery of us by spouting these insane theories. The defense clearly has no case. End this at once. Considering what I know, I'd like to indulge this theory. The The judge has finally given me a chance for once. That was a first. Beatrice has been acting strange since the trial began. It was suspicious, but not in a way that seems to implicate her. It's almost like she was intentionally trying to bring up something to my attention. I decided to pull on this thread a little. She asked me what curious about what just happened, but every time I asked her to elaborate, she said nothing. Whatever she was trying to draw my attention to, it had to be significant in some way. Beatrice presented a contradiction in the testimony, that's true. But what is the event?
Wouldn't it be somebody... The conspiracy? The purple mark.
I don't think it's that, though. No, Beatrice
That's definitely not it.
Trying to draw your attention. What just happened was worth thinking about. I mean, this is what she did. No, that's not it either.
No. Go to the massacre.
I don't see the massacre, though.
On the bottom, it's the bottom one.
What are you thinking?
I mean, Beatrice was referring to an event. Oh, wait a minute. Marnoth was trying to hide the purple mark.
That's true. In the testimony. No, despite the evidence. Might be one of those two.
From Beatrice.
No.
Marnoth hid the purple mark from Beatrice.
Marnoth, he didn't allow Beatrice to see the purple mark. He only do that if Beatrice would recognize it normally. Marnoth is her familiar, and he used to follow her orders, but things clearly changed now that she belongs to the Empress of Discord. So why would a demon like Marnoth interfere like this?
Marnoth, follows the demon.
Oh, it's Roxas' birthday?
Oh, welcome. Happy birthday. Yay.
I know Arya's been investigating the conspiracy, but I doubt it. I don't think it's the Urban Myth one.
A demon. A demon?
The mastermind is hiding a demon? No. There's a common thread here. Beatrice seemed to know about the purple mark that Arya has been investigating. Second, Marnoth has prevented Beatrice from seeing it. He's a demon who wouldn't personally care about the politics of Wormguard.
Are you sure? Are you sure don't want cake?
The purple mark... The purple mark has been related to a demon, I guess. No. No, that's not it.
I mean, Marnoth is hiding the purple mark from Beatrice because she would recognize it.
Yeah, but that's not an option. What if?
Maybe the purple mark is related to the urban myth.
No, that's not it.
What do you mean you're not gonna eat the cake?
Maybe it's the mastermind is related to an urban myth.
Mm.
No, that's not it. The mastermind is related to the nobility?
I don't think so.
Might be.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
Purple mark is related to the nobility. That's not it either.
It's hard. Well, when you get all better, you can eat all the cake you want. Eat all of the cake.
I doubt Murnif is investigating.
No, but he could be hiding a demon. I don't know.
Murnif has been hiding a demon? No, that's not it. I don't know.
It has to be. Why would Marinoth interfere? And it's because of Marinoth. Marinoth. Something.
I don't know. I would think, but first, I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. So if you may entertain the people?
I'll try. I don't know. I don't think I'm that entertaining. Chuck and Soda watching the stream in Hell's Kitchen. I love Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen is pretty solid. Sometimes I watch it to relax and laugh at people and their dumb antics. People are really dumb sometimes, especially in that game. Da da da. I don't know. It's hard to say what to do here. Live in a cage and entertain me every day. Well, I'm glad that I do that. Usually good at strategy, but if zoning out too much. Been in a cage right now. Actually sounds good. I have problems, I think. Listen, being in the cage, you're nice and safe in the cage. You get blankets. And it's not locked. You get to come in and out when you want.
Old man returns.
Yes, the old man.
What if it's the purple mark is related to a demon? Can we try that?
I don't know.
Yep, it is. The purple arc must be related to a demon somehow. That's the only explanation as to why he would prevent her from seeing the mark. But Arya has been investigating murders throughout Wormgard. Did that mean that her investigation also had something to do with a demon? I suspected that each of the murders in those cases were acting against their will. And in that case, both Arya and Beatrice were also claiming they were controlled. I couldn't explain what happened to Arya and the other individuals, but I did know that Beatrice might not have full control of her actions.
I mean, Beatrice can be controlled by Meredith, no?
What if it's the blood contract we talked about last case?
Yeah, it could be the blood contract.
I recall that it was written on Beatrice's contract during her trial. It said what would happen if she failed to claim House Frigga. Her soul, her mind, and her life would be claimed by the Empress of Discord. If the Empress of Discord owned Beatrice's mind, would that mean they could also control Beatrice against their will? If that were true, you don't think... Do you think this is it? But why would she sign it? Let's test it out. No, that couldn't be right, could it? Why would Arya do that? But it was the conclusion that made the most sense. Couldn't think of any other way someone could control her against their will. And there was one way to find out for certain. The Divine Edict. Same ability I used against Beatrice during her trial. I didn't fully comprehend it at that time, but I now had some understanding of how it worked. It created a copy of the blood contract between a contract holder and the demon who created it. But for it to work, I needed to know the name of the contract holder and the name of the demon who drafted it.
Ooh, is it Meredith?
No, I doubt it's him. Right now, I'm relying on the speculation, but going off what I knew, the demon who made the contract must be the Empress of Discord. So-called Empress of Discord. She was mentioned in Beatrice's blood contract. Still had no idea who or what she was. However, she was mentioned in a blood contract created by Meredith. Was Meredith her subordinate in some way? That might explain why Meredith didn't want Beatrice to identify the purple mark. I wasn't sure if a pseudonym was enough, but it was the closest I could get with it I knew so far. You've been awfully quiet for a while, Mr. Cuthbert. He's probably imagining new ways to futilely stall for time. I think I finally figured out why the witness and the defendant can't remember anything. And it would also explain why they didn't have control of their actions. Again with this. If you're so convinced of my daughter's conspiracy, why don't you prove it? I knew it! Even you don't believe the nonsense you're spouting. Lord Steelwind, I want to be wrong about this. If I'm right, the implications don't bode well for anyone involved. So instead of telling you, I think it would be better if I showed you. Empress of Discord, wherever you may hide.
It's about time.
By the eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release the guards and manifest your blood contract with Arya Steelwind. Oh no. The blood contract seems strange. Unlike Beatrice's contract, there's only one page. Even stranger, there's a large empty space at the top half of the page. There are only a few sentences at the bottom. For the intentions of this contract, the person who hands the contract to Arya Steelwind will be referred to as the patron. By signing the contract, Arya Steelwind surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. The contract will bind Arya Steelwind to the patron as long as they both live. It was signed by Arya Steelwind. Why would she sign that?
I don't know. Forced to.
No, this can't be true. This is... Enough. Stop prattling amongst yourselves. No, this is a sham. This wretch has used magic to create a convincing fabrication. It's genuine, Lucio. I can sense it. Is it possible to falsify something like this? You can't deny the truth anymore, Grand General. There is a way to control someone else's actions. Arya Steelwind wasn't affected by Mage Blight. She was controlled against her will, and her memories were overwritten. With this evidence, no doubt that Arya did sign the... With this evidence, there's no doubt that Arya did sign a blood contract. But it still doesn't make sense. I agree. Even if Arya was the type of person to make a deal with a demon, there isn't a single part of the contract that benefits her. The Patron created the contract because it looked like a normal document.
Possibly?
No. Or maybe it wasn't the Patron. Maybe it was the Emperors of Discord. No, that's not right.
I mean, it would be Arya signed the contract because it looked like a normal document.
That makes sense. There's a large empty space above the terms of your daughter's contract. When I issue Divine Critic, it creates a copy of the blood contract that I called for. I think when she was given the contract, it probably looked like something entirely different. Something else was written in that empty space to make it look like a normal legal document, which means that my client is not in control of her actions that day. Enough of this, all of you! Do you see now, Grand General? Your daughter was not responsible for what happened. That remains to be proven. What are you talking about? She has a blood contract that relinquishes control of her free will. Not having control and not being responsible are two very different things, Cuthbert. What? I'll admit, the defendant may not have had control of her actions when she murdered the victims. However, she did have full control of herself when she signed the contract. Are you serious? No one in their right mind would willingly sign a contract for this. And what a Beatrice Frigga. Was she in her right mind when she made a contract with the demon Murnif? If we can't hold the defendant responsible, surely why should also acquit Lady Frigga for the murder of her father? That's hardly the same thing. I, for one, fail to see the difference. A fool made a deal with the demon, and as a result, several esteemed members of the nobility were killed. She's your daughter, Lucio. And how does that change anything? He seriously doesn't care if he can fix Arya? What kind of father is he? Honestly, this has placed only more responsibility on her for what happened. I could have accepted if she had been reckless and accidentally induced Mage Blight. But to sign a contract with a demon? This only further espouses the need to put her down. She was clearly tricked, Lucio. Is that so? She's an attorney like you. Why would she really sign a contract without carefully inspecting it? Whether it was through foolishness, negligence, or both, the defendant willingly signed a blood contract. She compromised herself, and as a result, 3 people died and many more were incapacitated. The responsibility falls squarely on her. Wait, even if she willingly signed a contract, that isn't entirely true. The patron. Lucio, there's clearly someone else to blame for Arya's actions that day. Oh, and who would that be? I'd like to reread my client's blood contract to the court. Oh, I need some water. Doing these voices back and forth is painful.
Yeah, you're doing a lot.
What is Edgeworth 2.0? Oh, he's got ads.
Yeah.
By signing the contract, Arya Steelwind surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. That can only mean one thing. Whoever this patron is, they took control of my client and used to murder the victims. Rena?
No, that's right! They could still be out there! None of us are safe until this patron is apprehended.
Surely we cannot end the trial while every member of the Wormguard nobility is in danger. I completely agree with Mr. Cuthbert. Trickery or not, there's clearly someone with ill intent. And until we know who this patron is, you can't pass judgment on my client. Not until we know the circumstances under which she signed the blood contract. And what would you have us do, Mr. Cuthbert? The contract has no stipulations about proximity or how this mind control works. For all we know, the patron could have murdered the victims all while sitting in their very home. There was a clear intent behind the attack. Even the patron didn't directly participate in the murders, they definitely had a motive. If Arya was being controlled, then we can analyze her behavior to determine who was controlling her. I see. Despite the question raised, we clearly made some headway. I believe we should take a brief recess in processing these revelations. Very well.
Oh.
Oh,
Take your
this
partners.
is killing my throat, to be honest.
It's a lot.
I may have to
water?
actually ask you to take one of these. Yeah, I got water. But remember, I'm basically going through 3 forms. Normal voice, the big boss voice, and the dragon voice.
Yeah, I have no idea about any of those.
We stepped outside the Scale Lord's lair to get some fresh air. I did a few stretches, some breathing exercises, anything to take my mind off what was revealed. Celeste silently sat on a rock near the ruins, her eyes looking down. Arya had become a close friend of hers over the last few months. She was probably taking this harder than anyone else. Oh, okay. Looks like I get to take a break. Your turn, Rena.
Oh boy.
Arya, I'm so sorry.
Ooh, don't be.
She couldn't find the words. She just sighed and sat next to Celeste. She's always been stoic, but it was clear even she was her breaking point. I can't imagine what you're feeling right now, but it's not as hopeless as it looks. If we can find out who did this to you, we can still save you. Do you remember if you signed anything recently?
No, I don't.
Damn it all, for all we knew, it could have been any of the documentation she signed while doing her job.
I still don't understand. I would have never been that careless.
Right. As much as I hate to admit it, Lucille was right. You're an attorney like me. We've always carefully look over contracts before we sign them.
I just...
The patron can control your memories, too. For all we know, they could have used any number of tactics can coerce you into signing that contract.
I suppose that's possible.
Arya.
As we were deliberating amongst ourselves, the Grand General approached us alone.
What are you doing here?
Oh, thanks for the follow, the Dragon Alchemist. You see 2 Stakies.
What?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Never.
What?
Never. I'm not stinky. You're stinky.
Alright, Rena.
I already said that line.
Father?
Yeah, I do need water.
Go get some water then.
Oh, I got water.
Well, you said you need it. So
I know, I just drank it.
Oh. Oh, lots of feelings right there.
He glared at Arya silently before walking away.
I can't believe him.
His action says otherwise, but I could have sworn I saw something through the eye. Well, no matter what he felt internally, he made it clear that he won't relent. He was my enemy. Whatever his motivations are, I'd overcome him, just like everyone else. We should also head back, Celeste.
Right.
Court is now resumed. Shall we pick up where we carried off? Your Grace, I think we should review what we do know about the murders. We do have a plethora of witnesses to work with. Let's start with the beginning. It all began at noon yesterday. I was at my house at Rathom with Arya and my bodyguard Celeste. I was speaking with them when a courier suddenly delivered a letter to my home. It was from Garrick Pierce. He wanted to meet me with Celeste at the Grand Cathedral of the Scale Lord at 2 p.m. To make sure we're on time, we arrived at the Grand Cathedral at 1 p.m. At the time, we didn't know the cathedral was closed to the public, but the Knights Guarding Cathedral allowed us through anyway. Apparently, they were expecting us. Which should not have happened, due to the solemnity of the situation. We were very particular about who was permitted to enter the cathedral. It's possible that someone pulled the strings to let us through. Or you two entered the cathedral illegally. I know about every order given to the Kingsguard, and none of them were told to let you through. Tell me, Lucio, were the knights stationed at the entrance among the knights who fell comatose? Perhaps we should continue. We arrived at the church and spent the next hour sightseeing before we met with Pierce. At the time, we met with Archduke Grand General, my client, His Majesty, and Prince Alric. And around that time, Arya and Aster left together to go meet with the High Speaker in his quarters. Next morning, the cathedral, we spoke with the Duke of Commerce and the Minister of Justice. And then we spoke with the 3 Frege sisters and Iris and Limiter. Iris and Limiter? She's a friend of Beatrice Frege. The Kingsguard wouldn't let her bring Murnov to the cathedral, so she brought Iris to guide her instead. Anyways, we left the garden at 1:45 p.m. to meet with Pierce in the prayer room. At around the same time, Arya left her meeting at the High Speaker and felt nauseous. The last thing she remembered is looking at Lake Galacron over the west balcony. A likely story. Regardless, at 2 p.m., Aster went to pay respects to his father's body. Unbeknownst to him, a mage had placed a glyph of contingency in front of his father's coffin. It was set to trap him with a force cage. What a deplorable act. Considering what followed, the attack on His Majesty must have been a diversion. It was also at the same time both Beatrice and Iris went missing. Considering the timing of it all, someone must have taken control of Beatrice's body after the trap of Aster was sprung. And are you saying this patron controlled her as well? No, I don't think so. According to her contract, her mind belongs to the Empress of Discord, not the patron. Furthermore, Arya's blood contract was created by the Empress. I believe the patron and the Empress were in league with each other, but they were 2 distinct individuals. Wonderful. Another demon that we'll have to worry about. At the moment, the patron and the Empress had all of the pieces they needed. That's when they began the massacre. The patron took control of Arya's body and Von Sanctus was murdered at 2:05 p.m. And nothing of value was lost on that day, eh, Rena?
Nope. I don't like this guy.
Nobody
Very
does.
few. I mean, the other lady I did like, but this guy is a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Whether it was intentional or accidental, oil was spilt on the lanterns in the common room and a fire started. Since Von Sanctus was found there, this must have happened after he was murdered. Shortly after, Prince Alric spotted smoke from the fire and asked Arya what was going on. Arya responded by using an unknown transmutation spell to incapacitate him. To think that they would use her attack the prince as well. Luckily, the effects of the spell were only temporary, and Alric came out unharmed. After this, the patron used Arya to murder Sybil at 2:15 p.m. She brought Sybil's body to the westward balcony, where she dumped it into the lake of Garok. High Speaker Arches witnessed this, but he was unaware that she had thrown off the balcony until much later. The High Speaker thought this encounter was strange, but he continued with his business. He headed to the prayer room, but was turned away by the knights standing guard there. Meanwhile, Celeste and I were speaking with Lord Pierce. When we showed up at the meeting, he was clearly expecting someone else to show up. We tried to get to the bottom of what was happening, but he refused to answer our questions. At about 2:20 p.m., we heard commotion outside. Celeste went to investigate. And that's when Celeste fought Arya. The patron's target was Garrick Pierce, but Celeste was too powerful to neutralize. They fought each other for about 15 minutes before Arya was finally able to push past her. During the fight, the Empress sent Beatrice Frigga into the prayer room. She probably had Beatrice cast invisibility to move undetected. She didn't use her to cast a sleep spell on Pierce and me to knock us out. I remember checking the time close to when this happened. It's supposed to happen at 2:30. If your testimony is correct, Beatrice Frigga was actively used in this plan. Yes, and considering how quickly the massacre unfolded, the Empress must have been coordinating with the patron. Considering how oddly some of the knights were acting, it's possible they had other accomplices too. They probably planned how they would use Beatrice and Arya to carry out the murders. Anyways, after Beatrice knocked us out, Arya finally pushed past Celeste and into the prayer room. And before Celeste could catch up to her, she had already murdered Pierce. Arya and I were found unconscious by the time Celeste entered the room. The patron had already achieved their goal of murdering the three nobles. So she probably fell unconscious when they released the control over her. Arya and I regained consciousness shortly after, and that's when the Inquisition arrested her for the murders. Lord Pierce was one of the victims. Your meeting clearly had some significance than I realized. So tell us, Cuthbert, what was the discussion about?
Good question.
It's fine. You can tell them.
Alright. For the past few months, Celeste and I have been investigating who her birth parents were. I recall receiving many complaints about her during the Lord's Ball. Supposedly, Garrett Pierce had the information we were looking for. The letter he sent us said he wanted to trade his information for his freedom. I assumed that meant he wanted me to be his attorney. Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Why would he ask help from the attorney who indicted him in the first place? We thought the same thing. And when we arrived there at the meeting, it was clear I wasn't the intended recipient. This means that Pierce sent the letter to somebody else. You better not be lying to us, Mr. Cuthbert. Frankly, I don't much care if you believe me. Regardless, if we examine every action Arya took, we can build a psychological profile of the patron. One could often learn a lot about a person by how they approach combat. To begin with, the defense would like to call the Commander White to the stand. His testimony might shed some light on how Von Sanctus and Sybil died. Despite all these witness accounts, we still only know how Pierce was murdered. Yes, he was impaled using a blade magically frozen from his own blood. In a grim sort of way, it's almost poetic that he died the same way Flintheart did. But I doubt that he gave Celeste any closure. Anyways, we need to find out exactly how Arya murdered Von Sanctus and Sybil. The massacre was swift and efficient. It must have required a lot of forethought and coordination. If we figure out who might have had all this knowledge, we might be able to find out who did it. I see. Kingsguard, escort Commander Armed White to the witness stand at once. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Right,
This
Commander?
guy.
I'm sorry, I just can't do this. How am I supposed to act like this is normal? A giant lizard is standing right behind me. Call me a lizard is highly offensive, Commander. Sorry, your scale lordship, sir. Commander, just try your best to testify about what happened. Hey, don't call us a lizard.
Yeah, don't call lizard.
Just be glad Mahi isn't here. She hates that meme.
I mean, she doesn't like the meme anymore because she felt it was too overdone.
I saw this video of a Florida man who had a lot of iguanas on him and he was sleeping outside. At first I thought it was AI, but then I heard the words Florida man. I'm like, nope, that sounds about right. Retta?
Florida man.
Honestly, yeah. I gotta show you this series, a thing called American Wizard, where he's inserted himself into like made up Hogwarts story.
Yeah.
Ironically, he's actually the most responsible adult, even though he's literally just a gun-toting American calling himself an American wizard.
What?
I'm actually not even joking.
Somebody come get her. She's dancing like a wizard.
Yeah.
Come here, kitty cat. I have kidnapped the kitty cat.
You must pet the kitty cat for kidnapping the kitty cat.
Yeah, she's on my lap now.
It all started when we received the report from the Kingsguard. The prosecutor attacked Prince Alric and a fire had broken out of the common room. We weren't sure what the deal with Steelwind was, so we went to the common room to put out the fire. But when we got there, we noticed a bunch of unconscious knights in the front of the prayer room. When we went to the prayer room, that's when we found Steelwind and Cuthbert unconscious next to Pierce's dead body. We later found the bodies of Von Sanctus and Sybil too. That's when we realized that she had offed all three of them.
That's crazy.
So you have no idea how Steelwind was used to murder Von Sanctus or Sybil? Not a clue. It's especially worse for Von Sanctus. That fire burned a lot of physical evidence off of his body. What about Sybil? Was there any physical evidence on her body? No idea about that either. She didn't have any wounds either. All we know is that she died of suffocation. There's definitely more information I could glean from their investigation.
You hear that?
What do you think?
The situation's crazy, that's for sure.
That's magic for you.
Iris is definitely doing some weird shit.
And this mainly based on Prince Alaric's testimony, am I correct? Yeah, we have no idea which transmutation spell hit him with. Judging by the time of the report, this must have been well after 3 of the murders occurred. Yeah, it was unfortunate how it played out. It still really was controlled. Whoever controlled her knew how to get the job done quickly. Well, that's the question of how did they do this efficiently? Was that wise? Regardless of who it was, somebody assaulted a prince of Wormguard. We were already dealing with the king who was trapped in the force cage. Honestly, a lot happened in that hour and most of our attention was focused on keeping the royal family safe. We could already conclude that the attack on the king was a distraction. Whoever orchestrated this must have known to focus our attention on keeping him safe. The casualties included many knights from the Kingsguard. They probably had to spread their forces thin to protect everyone else and handle the fire in the common room. What did you do when you arrived at the common room, Commander? When we got there, we noticed a bunch of unconscious knights in front of the prayer room. Did you see Arya or Celeste? No, we only saw the aftermath of their fight. There were marks and craters everywhere in that hallway. Pierce's time of death was 2:45 p.m. and the knights didn't arrive at the common room until 3:10. They didn't arrive at the prayer room until well after the battle had taken place. Wait, wouldn't that mean you were in that room with Pierce's body for 25 minutes? Why didn't you look for help?
You weren't waking up for some reason, so I kept channeling my healing magic into you. Looking back, I probably should have just looked for help. But even Arya was unconscious. I didn't want to leave you in that room with her.
Hello, Noelle.
Noelle?
Hello, kitty cat. Yeah, that's my one cat.
Right.
Not the one that was on my lap and I was petting. This is a different cat.
Right, sorry. Judging from the timing, this would have been several minutes after he already died. Yeah, we had no idea what was going on. Pierce was already dead and you still were unresponsive. I can see why I'd be unresponsive. I was hit by a spell specifically designed to make people sleep. But why was Arya unconscious too? We have no idea. We've never even heard of demonic possession until today. For all we know, it could have been a side effect of being controlled for over an hour.
Could be.
The last statement was a little vague. Whoever murder should we elaborate on? Who should we elaborate on? We're pretty much close to Pierce, so... Jackass or the lady?
The lady?
Okay. Could you elaborate more on Sybil's murder? Was there any evidence to imply how she died? Using our divination spell, we know she died of suffocation, but we're not exactly sure how. But unlike Von Sanctus, Sybil's body wasn't burned. Shouldn't there have been a wound around her neck and she was suffocated? Well, we found traces of necromancy on Sybil. I think steelwind cast men wounds on her body after she offed her. Someone must have learned that trick from Nightgrave's case and removed any wound from the body. This is exactly like what happened to Catherine Bellwether. Yeah, the only wounds she has are from the impact of falling into Lake Garak. Anyways, please add that to your testimony, Commander White. Sure, whatever you say, kid.
Hi, Noelle.
Let's see the evidence real quick. Okay, it does lead up with the... Oh no, she has wind wounds. That doesn't work.
So maybe we're looking for a murder that Arya couldn't have done? I have no idea. Because her spells don't make sense?
That's what I'm looking at. The one spell she's got is Firebolt, Shape Liquid, Dispel Magic, Steelwind Strike, Detect Magic, Polymorph on the whole creature. Which of these don't make any sense, though?
I don't know. Because turn the blood to ice. That's just shaped liquid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe we should press these on.
I have no
And
idea.
since someone cast men wounds on the body, we still don't know how. Yeah, it's gonna be a real headache figuring that one out. No one saw the murder, and the high speaker only witnessed the moment Arya dumped the body, and even he didn't see that much. Anyways, was Sybil the victim I wanted to focus on? This murder should I elaborate on? Let's focus on Void Von Sanctus instead. Could you elaborate more on Von Sanctus's murder? Was there any evidence to imply how he died? Like I said, the trickier Von Sanctus because the fire partially burned his body. Our divination spell can only tell he died of suffocation. Let's see. No other physical evidence? Well, there is one thing. From his burn marks, we do know that he was hit by some form of mundane projectile before he died. Do you mean like an arrow or something? Arya's a mage, though. Why would she use a mundane weapon to attack? Talentless mages will often use mundane weapons to make up for their weakness. Either way, she probably wanted to weaken him before she dealt the final blow. So he took a direct attack from her before he died. Anyways, please add that to your testimony, Commander White. Sure, whatever you say, kid. But how much I know, there was a lot of details missing about how Von Sanctus and Sybil died. The Inquisition might have found some clues that I missed. I need to ask the commander to elaborate on what they know about each of the murders.
Oh, so we have to just ask about each of the murders?
I guess. Alright, let's ask about Pierce then. Well, I know I said that's assuming. Don't be cute, Mr. Cuthbert. Myrna?
It's not like he can help it.
What?
What?
Anyways, Lucille's assumption did make sense, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions yet. Either way, was Von Sanctus the victim I wanted to focus on? Maybe Pierce. Could you elaborate more on Pierce's murder? Was there any evidence that implied how he died? Well, that one is simple. McCoy's chased Steelwind into the prayer room, but didn't arrive fast enough. When she got there, Pierce was already dead. He was killed using a blade magically formed from his blood. But why would she do something like that? When he murdered Flintheart McCoy, he only used shaped liquid to avoid leaving behind evidence. I doubt the patron would make Steelwind do that for the same reason. The intent was to pin the crime on her. We think she knew McCoy was on her tail. She didn't have enough time to suffocate him as she did with Von Sanctus or Sybil. And she didn't have a weapon on her. She must have had to improvise. But she had other spells that could have done the job. She could have hit him with Steelwind's strike. I know from experience that she is terrible at controlling that spell. It's possible she didn't want to unleash such a powerful spell in a closed room. I saw the track, but it still didn't feel right. Anyways, the other two murders were really well planned. Pierce's murder was the element that required improvisation. It's possible the patron severely underestimated McCoy's combat ability. She fought my daughter for almost half an hour. Meanwhile, the other two murders occurred in quick succession, one from another. Yeah, I see what you mean. Anyways, please add that to your testimony, Commander White. Sure, whatever you say, kid.
Interesting.
Does she got shaped liquid as one of her spells?
She does, yeah.
Shit. Huh.
Yes, Noel? What are you doing, buddy?
What are you thinking?
I have no idea what to think, to be honest.
Me either. Maybe we look back at the conversation.
Noel, what are you doing, you silly goofball? I have little eyeballs staring at me from under my computer screen.
Well, they're cats. What'd you expect?
So silly. I mean, the kittens haven't really come much into my office. So it's so silly.
Maybe we should go back to one of the other ones.
Oh, hi. Are you done? Hello, can I pet you?
My daughter is a worthless soldier. She has no talent for combat, and I've witnessed McCoy's powers firsthand. As much as I hate to admit it, McCoy should have easily overcome her in an even fight.
It was her magic that was the problem. I had no idea what kind of spell she could throw at me, so I had to be careful. And despite everything, I really didn't want to hurt her.
That kindness could be the death of you, McCoy. Anyway, maybe we should actually go back to Von Sanctus then. Because I think about it, someone's bugging me, Rena. No, someone was bugging me about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Von Sanctus.
What about it?
Remember when he said mundane weapon?
Yeah.
There's something that's bugging me.
Okay. I'm listening.
I think one of the evidence said something about a shield. Let me see. Here it is. There's traces of aberration magic that form a perfect square around the body. And it seems far less burnt. You think it's something about that?
I don't know.
Let's see about that one. Nope. Music playing. Or maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it's his spell compendium. Yep, there it is. Rena, one of these you'd think you would immediately use if you're being attacked. Force cage, right? Or
Yeah,
stone skin?
Stone skin. He actually used stone skin at one point.
So, wouldn't that make more sense to look into that? Let me take a look.
Could be.
That's strange. What is it now? Commander White, you said that Steelwind attacked Von Sanctus with a projectile before suffocating him? Yeah, she probably wanted to injure him so he'd be easier to subdue. But that's what I find strange. Von Sanctus knew he was under attack. So when he cast Forge Case to repel her? I guess that's true. Von Sanctus was hardly a warrior, Cuthbert. Force Cage is an extremely useful spell, but it has to be aimed. He was shot with a projectile. He must have been in immense pain. I doubt he was able to clearly think under those circumstances. I normally agree with you, but the crime scene tells another story. What do you mean, Mr. Cuthbert?
Oh, it's that other thing now. That other thing that you were notating earlier.
Yeah, the aberration. When we investigated the crime scene, we found traces of abjuration magic that formed a perfect square around the body. I'm sure if we measured the dimensions of the square, it'd be 10 by 10 feet, which is the same length and width that the cube that created Force Cage. Like you said, he was in no shape to aim it. So he cast Force Cage on himself to create a makeshift barrier. Nonsense! If Von Sanctus had cast Force Cage on himself, he should have been protected from further harm. The defendant wouldn't have been able to suffocate him after that. No, wait, I know how it is.
He suffocated himself.
Exactly, he was an idiot.
That's my thought, is that he put himself in a cage and he suffocated himself.
Your endurance as arcane arts is apparent. Force Cage is one of the most powerful abjuration spells. Is it, though? That's a very powerful spell, Rena.
I mean, at least in this world it is.
Like, I'm pretty sure all of us can do Force Cage at this point. Right. After Aster was trapped in a Force Cage and he had to wait for an hour duration to elapse. Wait. If Force Cage is perfectly closed space, it's possible that he ran out of air. That'd be a glaring weakness. House von Sanctus obviously designed that spell to only allow oxygen through the barrier. And before you ask, poisonous gas can't push through the barrier either. Right, and even if they had used poisonous gas, the autopsy report wouldn't have said he suffocated. Only oxygen can travel through the bounds of force cage. So how did Arya suffocate? The fire consumed the air.
Yeah.
Force cage is specifically designed to allow oxygen through the barrier. But what if there was no oxygen left in the room? No oxygen? Oh! It was the fire in the common room. Von Sanctus couldn't be harmed once he was in that force cage. So she started a fire to eat all the oxygen within the room. What should have protected him ended up trapping him. And the inability to dispel it ended up sealing his fate. Well, I suppose that explains how the defendant murdered Von Sanctus. But with that in mind, a lot of this plan seems like it was improvised at the moment. Just like the murder of Pierce. Not only that, we assume that the patron used the same method to kill Lord Von Sanctus and Lady Sybil. But I doubt Lady Sybil died under the same circumstances. Correct, there was only one fire. And if Sybil was in that force cage, the defendant wouldn't have been able to throw her body in the lake. Which means Sybil must have died by asphyxiation somewhere else. Then it's clear our next course of action is to determine how Lady Sybil was murdered. We don't know where she was murdered. The only witness who saw her around the time was the High Speaker, which was after the defendant disposed of the body. Well, the High Speaker's testimony is a good start as any. For our next witness, the defense would like to call the High Speaker himself. What's wrong? It's nothing. Carry on. Kingsguard, escort High Speaker Arceus to the witness stand. Witness, you will testify about...
You alright, little man?
Great. Actually, you know what? This makes sense.
Oh, great and blessed Scaled Lord!
Thank you for taking this voice, Rena. Thank you for taking it. Plus, let's be real, this does make sense. If you actually ran into the god in front of you, you don't think he would do this?
Yes. To think you would grace us with your presence!
Oh my god.
Forgive me, Lord, for feeling I spoke out of turn.
No, it's just... I should have thought about that for a second before I brought him in.
Those fucking fanboys.
How many times do I have to tell you people that I'm not a god? Yes, I revere and serve the god of dragons, but I'm not an avatar of Bahamut.
But you're the Scaled Lord.
I'm just a dragon. I'm not even a powerful one. I'm not a deity.
Oh, he admitted it. Oh, this humility. One can only truly be so perfect. Scaled Lord is so humble. What a magnificent creature. I kneel, I bow, I plead at your feet that you can look down upon your humble servant.
I swear to God, I gotta let you know again, I am not the god, I'm just a dragon.
If you were to spit upon me, I would not dare to wash any further.
Oh my god.
That's exactly what Bahamut's avatar would say.
I swear to God.
He even swears by the god's name.
Lucio, please handle this. Perhaps another approach is warranted. High Speaker Arches, the great and powerful Rathalion calls upon you today. We require your...
You require my life?
No!
Don't give it to me! I will rip open my chest! My heart! Of course! I will gladly live my life for the Scaled Lord!
What? No!
Of course! My blood could never be enough! I am a peon!
Would you just let me?
I will do as you wish, my lord. Whatever it takes, if I must fondle those cheeks, I've got you. It might take some time, though. I'll need to gather some, devout followers of the faith and, make sure we take
Enough!
care.
Oh my god! We just want your testimony! Just tell us when you saw Steelwind was at the westward balcony yesterday already!
Are you sure you don't want me to try and, fondle things?
Oh my god! Does this look like Rena's cottage? Just give us the damn testimony already!
Okay, I see. If that's what you truly wish, my lord.
Oh my god. Are we just to ignore how he was willing to commit mass murder? Be quiet, oh, wait, wrong one. Be quiet, we just got him to calm down.
I will do anything for the Scaled Lord. Murdering myself. Fondling luscious scaled pipes. Anyway, I was doing some paperwork in my quarters, and I suppose, I'm old as fuck, and I lost track of time. My alarm went off, and it kind of made me realize, it was fucking time for afternoon prayers. Can't have that now. I began heading down to the prayer room, and that's when I spotted the illustrious Lady Steelwind looking on the westward balcony. She was quite a beaut. I tried to, greet her, but she didn't respond to me, and I thought, well, that was really fucking weird. She's usually pretty nice. And then, when I noticed she was putting something large over the balcony into the lake Gallicrand, I had my suspicions about what could be going on. I asked her about what exactly she was doing, but again, she just ignored me, and I thought that was kind of rude, and went towards the prayer room. I thought nothing of it, but, even aside from her being rude, and made my way there as well, since that's where I needed to be. And, that's where the guards, they turned me away. They were like, get the fuck out of here, man. You're gonna get murdered. I went back to my quarters to do my prayers there instead. That's all I could do.
Considering the timing of it all, this must have happened minutes before she began attacking the prayer room.
Yes, I consider myself lucky. The Scaled Lord must have graced me with divine luck. Thank you, my divine lord.
Please, just stop. Considering how quickly she was moving, this has to be a reason she waited there. Was she waiting for the high speaker to leave? Perhaps I need to closely examine the timing of these events.
Oh, Scaled Lord, let me tell you, I've got so many ideas for the kingdom.
Doing paperwork. I began heading to the prayer room, spotted Lady Steelwind looking over the westward balcony. I tried to greet her, but she didn't respond. Then, when I noticed she was pushing something large over the balcony... So she ignored you? What was her expression like?
I was very cold and emotionless. Not like her at all.
The patron must have controlled of her what this happened.
Yes, that certainly makes the most sense.
What time did this encounter occur?
It was shortly after my alarm went off, which was definitely before 2:15 p.m. Maybe 3:15 p.m. 4:15. I don't know, I'm fucking old. When did I set my alarm?
Died a death 218. Wait. Rena.
That's after.
That's
she
after.
saw- Yeah.
Hold up. Something was off when I heard that. Wait, what?
Something wrong? Did I do something to not please the scaled lord?
For the love of God, I am not the god here. I am just doing my job. Also, there is, but I'm not really sure what it means. Stop stammering and say what you want to say. High Speaker, you said that you saw Arya dump something over the ledge of the balcony. There's no need to be vague, Cuthbert. It's clear from the evidence that she saw my daughter dumping Lady Sybil's body. That's the thing, Lord Steelwind. It couldn't have been Sybil's body. What are you talking about? The location for the balcony is where Lady Sybil's body lines up perfectly. That may be, but the witness just said she saw her dumping the body before 2:15. Wait! You see it too, don't you, Lucio? How did Arya dump Carla and Sybil's body into the lake before 2:15 if her time of death was 2:18? I see. That does seem peculiar. But we know the defendant threw Sybil's body from that balcony. There would be no explanation on how it ended up there. Yes, that's also true. Perhaps she was still alive when Arya threw her off the balcony. She could have been knocked unconscious with a sleep spell. Your Grace, there is no traces of conjuration magic on her body. And even if she was asleep, she wouldn't have survived the fall from that height. The distance from that balcony to the lake is more than 30 stories. And the autopsy says that she caused death with suffocation, not blunt force. Right. Rena. I got an idea of how she died.
Okay.
She drowned.
Scaled lord, why did you summon the cat beast to attack me?
Because you kept calling me the god, for the love of God. But
Summons the gods!
No, but seriously, Rena, you're following my logic or no?
Yeah, I mean, suffocation is drowning.
But you would be thinking about how did she survive down there?
She couldn't survive down there.
Unless she's got a spell. Let's take a look at the evidence. Magic Compendium. Here it is. Her magic one. There it is. Slow fall.
Oh, slow fall, yeah.
And there's also stone skin. There was our answer. You ever seen a rock float?
Nope.
So, when did she die? She died after she hit the water. She must have died after she hit the water. But Cuthbert, Lucio said that she would have died upon impact. But that's assuming she didn't do anything to lessen the blow. She might have had the opportunity to cast a spell to protect herself. That might explain why her body wasn't as damaged despite falling at such a high height. Again, that doesn't match with the evidence. Lady Sybil's spell compendium contains the spell Slowfall. If she had the opportunity to cast a spell, she would have used that spell to slow her descent. And she wouldn't have taken any damage hitting the lake if she had done that. That's a really good point, but just indulge me for a second. What if it wasn't Slowfall? What if it was Stone Skin? I think Lloyd must have cast Stone Skin on her.
I mean, he did.
Oh shit, that makes sense. Stone Skin? If you recall, the High Speaker mentioned that something was strange about the object Arya threw over the balcony. It was much darker and didn't match Sybil's usual garb. Almost as if there was something else Sybil was wearing. The object was actually Lady Sybil protected by a layer of stone. Lloyd cast Stone Skin on her before she was thrown into the lake. Arya must have attacked them and Lloyd must have cast the spell to protect her. The coward. I'd imagine he's simply worried about protecting himself. But I'll admit that spell would have protected her from Steelwind's strike.
Well, that doesn't seem quite right. Yeah. Not at all.
What do you mean?
I made an not have seen much, but I saw that object Arya dumped stiff and motionless. If it had been Lady Sybil, she would have been struggling against her, wouldn't she?
That's a good point, too. The High Speaker saw Arya dumping a motionless Sybil, but if we assume my logic is correct, she would have also been alive. So why was she struggling against Arya?
Sybil was knocked out by a spell.
She must have been affected by a spell. And considering it kept her from resisting Arya, the patron must have made Arya cast a spell on her. What if it's whole creature? If it was whole creature, Lloyd must have cast stone spell on Sybil when Arya attacked them. The patron must have known that Arya couldn't physically damage her like that. So they ordered her to restrain Sybil with that spell. And Sybil died from suffocation. That's right, Lucio. Even if she was restrained, Sybil was still protected by stone skin. That left one option for the patron. Sybil suffocated when Arya threw her in the Lake Garok. Her stone skin lessened the impact of the fall, but it also made her drop like a rock. Arya's whole creature spell prevented her from moving, and since Lloyd stayed in the common room, he didn't know his spell was signing her death warrant. She was helpless as she sank to the bottom of the lake. I believe that covers all three of the murders then. Yes. Lord Von Sanctus suffocated to death in his own force cage. Lady Sybil drowned after Arya cast whole creature on her. And Lord Pierce died after being wounded by a blade created by shaped liquid. The only common thread I see is the patron knew how to use his victim's spells against them. But how did it connect to Pierce? Did he cast shaped liquid to make a blade to defend himself? Maybe the murderer took it from him and used it to deal the final blow. No, but he was knocked unconscious alongside me. He couldn't have been the one who created the blade. Anyways, whoever did this has an in-depth knowledge of each of the spells they used to defend themselves. They knew that Von Sanctus couldn't dispel his own force cage. They also knew he still needed oxygen within it. And in Sybil's case, they knew Arya couldn't physically harm her once the stone skin was active. He also knew that whole creature would prevent Sybil from moving when she sank to the bottom of the lake. Not only that, they did all this in quite quick time frame. Von Sanctus and Sybil died within 13 minutes of each other. And if Arya had encountered Celeste, Pierce would have died just as quickly. So whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of high-level magic. Not only that, they came up with a creative way to bypass the defenses put on by Von Sanctus and Sybil. Yes, they had the ability to react quickly and decisively. But considering the circumstances, that hardly narrows it down. Several members of the four pillar families are present that day. Each one of them has studied at the Imperial Academy. They would all be knowledgeable about magic and its applications. What they were saying wasn't sitting right with me for some reason. There was something that I couldn't see. But there's another angle to this. Considering who the patron did and didn't target. The victims were Lloyd Von Sanctus, Caroline Sybil, and Garrick Pierce. What similarity could we draw between at least two of them? Huh?
They're both killer families, right?
Yeah, but they're also convicted murderers. Let's start with the house leaders.
Not Sybil.
No, but Pierce and Von Sanctus were. But let's see about this one, the house leaders. No, the victims were Von Sanctus, Sybil, and Pierce. Doesn't quite work for all three of them, but there's a common thread between at least two of them. Alright, let me try to convict the murderers. That's not it either.
It might. So wait, Vaughn and Sybil are leaders, no? Sybil.
No. Maybe it's Von Sanctus and Sybil are house
That's
leaders.
what I was saying, Sybil.
Alright. Von Sanctus and Sybil were the heads of the respected noble houses. Are you sure the patron's goal was to assassinate leaders of the Four Pillars? That's the motive that makes the most sense. But that does leave one question. Don't be coy. I'm not daft, Cuthbert. Actually, I highly doubt it was you. Really now? Out of most people there, you could have easily tricked your daughter into signing a contract. But why would you need to do that? You are the Grand General Wormguard's army, and the cathedral is filled with your men. You could have easily equipped one of your best mages to carry out the massacre. And you wouldn't even need to make a deal with a demon to do so. Yeah, he's not wrong about that one. Not to mention, let's be real, he'd probably be the kind of guy to do it himself. Rena?
I don't know. Maybe.
Nah, he seems like the kind of guy who wants to get the job done himself.
Yeah, I can't.
So why wasn't Lucio targeted then? From her encounter with Celeste, it's clear there's a limit to Arya's combat capabilities. The Patriot must have simply doubted Arya's ability to defeat the Grand General, but there's another explanation. You know, that actually makes the most sense. The Patron wanted to frame the House Steelwind for it.
I mean, you could just say Arya.
No, the Patron made no attempt to kill Lucio Steelwind.
We didn't mention the... Wanted to kill Arya for the murders. I don't know.
I don't think he wanted to kill. They wanted to frame makes more sense.
He wanted them to see Arya.
I'm thinking it's frame the whole house. The patient wanted people to suspect House Steelwind for the murders. They used Lucio Steelwind's daughter to commit the crime. Then they intentionally left him alive to cast suspicion on him. That's why you used my daughter? What was that tinge of anger now? Anyways, that leads me to my next point. Imagine we never discovered Arya's blood contract with the Empress of Discord. What would have happened? We'd still think Arya Steelwind could succumb to Mage Blight. She would have been convicted for the murders, and the trust in House Steelwind would have been forever diminished. About a month ago, House Freyga lost to the Duke of Finance, and his successor, LeFay Freyga, was woefully unprepared to take his place. Now the House of Von Sanctus and Sybil are dead. With House Steelwind being held responsible for it all four pillar families would have weakened as a result of the massacre. But I think there's another layer to this. Everything fits together if we assume the patron's goal was to weaken the Pillar's family. Except for the murder of Garrick Pierce. Yes, in contrast to Sybil Von Sanctus, Pierce's political power pales in comparison. Furthermore, Pierce was already scheduled to be executed next month for the murder of Flintheart McCoy. Why would a patron go to the trouble of murdering a condemned man? Probably this one.
Yeah.
The patron murdered Pierce because they needed him to die as quickly as possible. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's biological parents.
My parents.
Do you remember what Pierce said when we showed up at the meeting?
Yes.
I suppose that means you finally decided. What, you two?
We got you a letter.
Letter? What letter? You sent us a letter, Pierce. It said that you knew who Celeste's parents were. I did send the letter, but not to you. We weren't the intended recipients of the letter.
That's right.
So that leaves one question. I think it's definitely the patron. There's only one person Pierce could have sent the letter to. The person who orchestrated the massacre in the first place. The patron. What that means, the patron is somebody who was threatened by Celeste's parentage. Order! Order in the court!
But I don't understand.
Sorry, I know this is a lot to take in, but I think we're targeting you for some reason. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's parents and attempted to blackmail the patron with this. Instead of complying with Pierce's demand, the patron sent the letter to me. But why go into trouble of luring you there? They could have allowed Pierce to wait in the prayer room while the defendant made her way to the murder him. Looking back on it, it is possible they wanted to kill Celeste too.
What?
They knew I would never meet Pierce alone, and the information was about her. The patron correctly guessed I'd bring her with me. But killing both Pierce and Celeste, they eliminate any threat Celeste would pose to them. But who would be threatened by such information? The mere existence of McCoy posed a threat to them. It must have something to do with her birthright. Right. So who would that leave? King Wormregard just recently died. What if Celeste was a member of the royal family?
You think I'm a princess?
I don't want to suspect Aster, but we need to consider every possibility. And when it comes to conflicts of inheritance, a royal line of succession is the first thing that comes to mind. Not only that, the king would have the authority to pardon Pierce of his crimes. But that wouldn't entirely make sense. What do you mean? If McCoy was abandoned at a tavern in Corverton, we must assume she's a bastard child.
Okay, I don't know why you have to bring that up.
My point is, King Oliver wouldn't abandon a child of pure royal blood. The kingdom requires an heir to continue the royal bloodline. He wouldn't leverage her diplomacy. He would have leveraged her in a diplomatic marriage. That's disgusting. That's diplomacy, Cuthbert. Trust me, it has been some disgusting shit. Anyways, if McCoy was of royal blood, Aster is the king's eldest child, and he's a pure royal
Incest everywhere!
Oh my god. McCoy
I
would
would
have had
provide you incest, my lord.
Please stop. McCoy would have no claim to the throne under these circumstances. Right, I see what you mean. I suppose that eliminates Aster for now. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects first. So who would that leave? I recall during Beatrice Frega's trial, we heard William Frega's last will and testimony. It mentioned that House Frega's asset would be divided evenly between all of his children. If McCoy were to be revealed as a Frega, his daughters would be legally obligated to share the estate with her.
Could I seriously be a Frega?
I don't want to suspect LaFay or Miriam, but we need to consider every possibility. And as we see, the Frega are no strangers to making deals with demons. However, it still doesn't quite fit. I doubt LaFay or Miriam would do something like this. What are you basing that on? I tend to be a good judge of characters, and they just don't seem the type to do something like this. Bah! You're far too trusting. I hold no doubt that any of William's children will be capable of doing something like this. I suppose we'll have to see. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects. No, I guess Steelwind's next. As much as I have my doubts, House Steelwind is the only pillar family whose house leader survived the past month. You think I'm McCoy's biological father?
You're barely a father to your actual daughter.
I'm only stating the possibility for the sake of argument. As I said, it would have made sense for you to frame your own daughter when House Steelwind were you to blame, but we gotta consider every possibility. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects first. Who would that leave? What did the Eye Taker orchestrated this whole thing? The Eye Taker? That common criminal? What reason would he have to do this? I've heard firsthand that he was planning to expand his influence throughout Wormguard. He was actually plotting with Beatrice to use House Frege to do so. Since I ruined his original plans, setting up the massacre might have been a backup plan. Perhaps we're looking at this all wrong. What if Celeste was a part of the royal family and they were planning to use her to take the throne? But if he wanted to do so, why would he put McCoy in danger by having my daughter attack her? Not only that, he'd also have the perfect opportunity to murder His Majesty. Imagine if he placed a more lethal contingent planted glyph of contingency. His Majesty might have well died alongside Von Sanctus, Sybil, and Pierce. I suppose you're right, but we gotta consider every possibility. That honestly all I can think of. Yes, there's a flaw with each suspect. Your logic is clearly flawed. There's something here I'm not seeing, but I know I'm close. There's a missing piece that ties it all together. Regardless, we still have no idea who or what this Empress of Discord is. I loathe to allow such an individual to walk freely through Wormguard. Your Grace, you've been alive since the creation of Wormguard and magic. Do you know who this demon is? I can say I do. Demons tend to take many titles over their life. But whoever this Empress is, they're brave enough to blatantly encroach on my domain like this. Well, I suppose we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. We obtained a lot of information today, but we clearly have many questions that need to be answered. How should we proceed? We have been working at this for quite a while. Perhaps we should suspend proceedings so that we can look into new leads. I have no objections. I would give my men some time to look into what we discovered today. Then it's settled. We'll be postponing proceedings for now, but you'll all be expected to return here by tomorrow morning. You're all free to return to your homes for the time being. But make no mistake, the Kingsguard will be carefully watching all of you. I'll probably be out there investigating. Still a constant nagging sensation in the back of my mind.
Hey, Tyrion?
It's as if we're overlooking something extremely important.
Tyrion.
What was it? What could possibly be important yet so difficult to remember?
Tyrion!
Sorry. Let's think about everything.
Looking really stressed out. Do you want to head back to your house to rest?
No, we only have a day until the trial resumes. We can't figure out what happened after tomorrow the magical traces disappear.
But you already know what happened. You don't know who did it.
We should speak with the suspects again. Maybe if I get lucky, I'll see something through the eye of Horus.
But one of the suspects is the Eye Taker. What are you gonna do about him?
I suppose we'll have to speak with him too.
What? No. What if he tries to kill you again?
That's just the risk I'll have to take. Arya's life's on the line.
Erwin, do you don't understand what you're being pulled into?
What?
Someone just murdered a bunch of nobles and they even attacked members of the royal family. Now there's some ancient dragons and demon lords involved too. Isn't that above your pay grade?
Ouch!
You know, that's not what I meant.
It's just this whole situation is crazy, isn't it?
It's fine. It's just like any of our other investigations.
Yeah, except there's demon lords after you. It's not, though. What if the Empress of Discord attacks you? What do you do then? What if the patron decides that you're getting too close to the truth? What if I can't?
Her voice broke, and her hands began to tremble. Celeste? Are you still worried about what happened during the massacre? I'm fine. I already told you you didn't do anything wrong.
You almost died, Tyrion.
I know.
You almost died.
I know, Celeste.
No, Tyrion, I don't think you do. When I saw you on the floor, I
Oh, shit.
Eh.
I hit a button by mistake. Here it is.
I'm so cocky about how I've never lost a fight, and because that...
She can't even complete that sentence. Celeste. How could I be so thoughtless? She was attacked by Arya and almost died. I'm sorry. I didn't think.
I apologize, just please. Please, just leave this to Lucy on the Scalp Lord. You've done enough already. They can fight the rest of it out.
And what if that's not enough? I'm not so arrogant to think that they can't do it without me. But what if they can't figure out who the patron is? Arya will spend the rest of her life in prison. What if I could have done something to prevent that?
I don't care if that happens.
Celeste!
I don't care, Tyrion. I apologize to you for this, but I want just to keep you safe. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that anymore.
Even she seemed surprised by what she said.
I am sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm really happy you're part of my life.
Okay.
I know what you're saying is coming from a big place of care. And I'm really sorry about how much I've been worrying you lately, but...
You're not gonna stop, are you? I'm gonna talk to Lucio.
What?
If we're gonna meet the Eye Taker again, we better bring some knights with us.
Celeste, that's hardly...
Nope. You don't get a say in this. And if you're not here when I get back, I will find you.
Judging from her expression, that wasn't an empty threat. But fine, just go. She might have a point, though. Before everything happened, I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue practicing law. Maybe I need to consider a safer, quiet life after all this is done. I hope she'll still be part of it. What was I thinking about now? I couldn't stop thinking about her lips on my cheek, however brief that was.
Alright, Lucio cleared it.
It was surprisingly... Oh, that's you.
Surprisingly easy to convince him. Mm-hmm. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Let's not waste any time. I had to get my face out of her eye line. I'll just quickly walk past her.
Hey, don't walk so far ahead.
I need to stay focused on the trial for Arya's sake. But when this is all over, I have to say those words to her. Well, I suppose I didn't have to think about that until then. And that's a great part to call it, huh?
Yeah. Good timing, I guess.
Yeah, perfect timing. Let me see. Gonna raid into another dragon. Oh, we got one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can. Looks like they're playing Minecraft. They're a Fey dragon, to be honest. So this might be your thing, Rena.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a Fey dragon.
Neat.
So let's see if I can raid into them.
Oh.
They're called Celia? Cecilia?
I think you've rated them before.
Did I?
I think so.
It says I didn't follow them, so I'm not sure.
Don't know.
Alright, everybody. I'll probably see you tomorrow with more of the original Kingdom Hearts. And Rena will be playing more Math Equation.
Yep, Math Equation.
How is that game treating you anyway?
There's some frustrating parts in it, but I'm making my way through it. Nothing I can't deal with right now. I definitely think, compared to fucking Chain of Memories, easy.
Just remember, it gets worse. Night, everybody.